Welcome back, y'all. My name is Fallout, and with Act 2 of episode Heresy dropping today, there are 10 new weapons in the game, so today we're going to do two things. One, go over what the god rolls for each new weapon are, and two, go over which of the new weapons I want the most. For that second part, we're going to keep it real easy. We're going to go from weapons I'm least excited about to weapons I'm most excited about in order, meaning the final three weapons we go over today are the ones I'm most excited for, and the weapons we talk about first, not so much. Starting off with the Division sidearm. It's nothing personal, but I'm automatically 10 times less interested in any sidearm that isn't a member of the rocket frame family, which the Division is not. We're gonna do things a little differently today. Even though I'm not very interested in the Division, here are 3 god rolls you might want to keep an eye out for if you are interested. And yeah, we'll be doing this for every weapon we go over today. Eddy Current and Volt Shot at number 3, To the Pain and Sword Logic at number 2, and Eddy Current and Sword Logic at number 1. Eddy Current and Volt Shot is your garden variety PvE ad clear primary weapon if you're interested in electrifying the entire room via Volt Shot. Eddy Current, of course, improves your reload speed and also gets much better when you're amplified, making the Volt Shot spam even easier. To the Pain and Sword Logic is for anyone out there who likes using heavy burst sidearms in PvP. I'll admit, not my usual go-to, but I do have a well-rolled Forgiveness sidearm, and it does okay in PvP. To the Pain will reduce incoming flinch and Sword Logic, even though it's getting nerfed today to only give a 15% damage bonus in PvP instead of 20, is still going to be incredibly good thanks to its very long duration of 7.5 seconds. Finally, we have Eddy Current and Sword Logic for PvE. Not nearly as flashy as a Volt Shot roll for sure, but Sword Logic is an insane damage perk in PvE, as you can constantly refresh the damage perk timer over and over with every kill. Also, you get a stronger damage buff for killing higher tier enemies, and you can still refresh the damage timer even by killing low-level red bars. Moving on to our next weapon, Taraxippos, returning today in the Guardian Games event. I'm not really very excited about Taraxippos, as it's missing 2 perks I really like on scout rifles, Kinetic Tremors and Shoot to Loot. But if you're interested, here are 3 god rolls to go for. Any of these rolls should be fine for general PvE use. I will point out that despite the fact that Taraxippos does have access to the perk Tear, you can't roll it together with Hatchling, which really breaks my heart. Therefore, we are left with these 3 rolls instead. 4th time's the charm and Precision Instrument would be fine for punching holes in beefy yellow bar enemies from across the map, all with minimal reloading involved. The other 2 rolls are just to take advantage of the slight extra damage output in PvE provided by Explosive Payload, combined with perks to make reloading less of a chore. Moving on, we have the Hullabaloo Grenade Launcher. Unless Bungie ever gives a big buff to heavy waveframe grenade launchers, it's hard to see Hullabaloo as anything other than a meme. An enjoyable meme that's decent at ad clear, but a meme nonetheless. Volt Shot and Rolling Storm are for the folks who want to ad clear, but with a strong arc flare. That roll gives you the ability to both abuse Jolt with Volt Shot and take advantage of Bolt Charge, which admittedly is awesome thanks to Rolling Storm. Demolitionist and Chain Reaction is another solid ad clear roll where you don't really need to reload as much like you would with Volt Shot. Demo will give you gobs of free grenade energy, and Chain Reaction just adds to the explosive ad clear factor. The Field Prep and One for All roll might sound very odd, but I'm recommending it for one reason and one reason only, and that's if you ever want to farm the Servitor encounter in the Vespers Host dungeon. That boss takes a laughably high amount of damage from the Hullabaloo, and with One for All's 35% damage buff, it's actually a weirdly effective DPS method for that encounter. On top of that, if Bungie ever buffs heavy waveframe grenade launchers, it's a role I might be happy to try out in other encounters to see if it does well. But yeah, you probably want to go with the ad clear rolls for now. Next up, Refusal of the Call, a new Strand Glaive. Glaives are actually a lot of fun in the current episode, partly in thanks to Hold the Line and No Bell on the artifact. Here are the rolls I recommend you go for. Discord and Sword Logic has the potential to be awesome. Once activated by getting a kill with another weapon, Discord will give this weapon refunded ammo after every kill. Glaive users everywhere are hoping that you'll be able to generate ammo just by stabbing and poking enemies with the glaive, but I'm gonna go ahead and bet money that Bungie already thought of that and won't let us do it, and you'll only be able to regen ammo by shooting enemies with your glaive, which is fine. Either way, it'll be a great perk to keep ammo up on your glaive, and combining it with Sword Logic for a free damage buff is a good idea, IMO. Slice and Disruption Break allow you to both spread around Sever for free, as well as let you take advantage of a little known trick. You see, Disruption Break makes enemies take more kinetic damage if you break their shield with that weapon. This works in a weird way on glaives. You can shoot them to pop their shield, and then that enemy will take more kinetic damage when you stab them with your glaive. TLDR, shoot them with your glaive to break their shields, and then stab them with that same glaive for more stab damage. Slice and Close to Melee is the same idea, but with a different, easier to use damage perk. Spreading Slice around with a glaive is very effective, and then Close to Melee lets you carve through enemies way easier with a very awesome plus 30% melee damage buff. Alright, next up is Afterlight, a new Void Fusion Rifle. Here are the roles I recommend you go after, and take note that all of them are for PvE. Reason being, the only PvP role for Afterlight IMO is Under Pressure and Successful Warm-Up. And if you didn't know, Zealot's Reward can use that exact same role, it charges faster, and it's craftable, so GG no re. Anyway, Discord and Destabilizing Rounds should be a no-brainer. Discord lets you regen ammo for free on a kill once activated, and Destabilizing Rounds is now a disgustingly good perk in PvE after the recent buff. Weird to think of a fusion rifle for ad clear, but hey, if it works, it works. Ambitious Assassin and Reservoir Burst is simple. First, overflow the mag, and then fire away, and each burst you fire from your overflowed mag will proc Reservoir Burst for way more damage and free explosions. If you want this role, also try to get the shiny Adept Afterlight, which gives you access to the Runneth Over Origin trait, which should make overflowing the mag way easier. The final role is basically just plain vanilla or reliable. Not as flashy as D-Stab or Reservoir Burst, just good old-fashioned managing your ammo better thanks to Lead from Gold and 15% more damage for free on mini-bosses and bosses with Vorpal Weapon. Next, we have the Mirror Imago, a new strand SMG. Again, you'll notice all my recommended god rolls are for PvE. I will be keeping my eyes on a potential PvP god roll featuring sword logic, but I'm not including it here yet because historically, I don't really like 900 RPM SMGs in PvP. Anyway, Grave Robber and Swashbuckler is a classic combo that works really well if you have a melee-focused build, because you can use your melee to both auto-reload your gun and buff your weapon damage all in one go. We've already gone over how amazing a perk Sword Logic is, so it shouldn't be a surprise that the other two roles feature that perk. Subsistence and Overflow just both allow you to shoot longer without needing to reload. The only difference is one requires weapon kills and the other requires walking over special or heavy bricks. Take your pick either way, but I'm definitely looking forward to this SMG literally because of sword logic alone. Moving on, we have the Anamnesis bow, which I have 4 rolls for. Anamnesis is the first bow capable of rolling Demoralize, which is actually a good perk, so it's one of the rolls I'm going after in combo together with Archer's Tempo. TLDR, get fast headshot kills and spread around weaken a lot. The other 3 rolls feature Destabilizing Rounds, which again are incredible in episode Heresy after the buff. Just take your pick for whatever you want to pair with D-Stab. The Repulsor Brace roll will give you a lot of overshield uptime. Dragonfly will give you even more explosive and fun ad clear, and Archer's Tempo will still give you great ad clear but let you do it much faster thanks to the draw time reduction granted by the perk. Not much else to say here. The bow's gonna make the room go boom and I really want to try it out. Next up, we have the Keraunios Arc Trace Rifle, aka newest weapon in the Guardian game's loot pool and weapon name I'm sure I did not mispronounce. Eddy Current and Rolling Storm is for what else? Building up stacks of Bolt Charge faster, because again, most of the community is in agreement. Bolt Charge is f***ing awesome. Go for that roll if you have a build that features you becoming amplified a lot. Discord and Killing Tally together should be a lot of fun. Killing Tally gives you a damage buff that eventually goes away when you reload, and activating Discord can help you regen ammo for a little bit, aka making it take longer before you need to reload. Put them together and you got a damn good roll. Finally, we have Overflow and Rolling Storm. Again, Bolt Charge is great, and instead of Eddy Current, we have Overflow, which auto-reloads your gun when you walk over an ammo box, which is A+ in my book. Go for whichever role you like, should be a good time. Next, we have the Title SMG, back in Jardian James for the umpteenth time, and here are your god rolls. Grave Robber and Swashbuckler, again for the folks out there with a more melee-focused build who want to use melee to auto-reload their gun, and also get a sweet damage buff all in one go. Threat Detector and Surrounded is another good ad clear option because both perks activate when you're close to at least 3 enemies. Then you get better weapon stats, including a better reload speed and a 40% outgoing damage buff, which is honestly pretty incredible. The final roll is What Else, Repulsor Brace, and D-Stab rounds for explosive void-flavored ad clear and near constant overshield generation. That is definitely the roll I'm looking forward to the most. The final weapon today is the Lotus-Eater. And yeah, I know, we did already have access to this weapon in Act 1, but we now have access to the Adept Lotus-Eater in Act 2 for the first time. Out of every new weapon in Act 2, I want this gun the most without question because it's a rocket frame sidearm, and despite getting nerfed, they're still great. First up, we have Shoot to Loot and Withering Gaze. Shoot to Loot is just a great utility perk that I really enjoy for higher difficulty content, and Withering Gaze because, I mean, it's the first ever rocket sidearm that can roll that perk. How could I not go for it? I'm interested in using that roll to maybe mag dump and burn down yellow bars a little bit harder thanks to Withering Gaze. Shoot to Loot and Destabilizing Rounds combines the handy utility of Shoot to Loot along with the awesome ad clear power of Destabilizing Rounds. And the final roll is D-Stab and Repulsor Brace for What Else, Supreme Ad Clear, and Nonstop Overshield Uptime. If there are any god rolls you really want for any of these new weapons that I did not mention, let me know what they are down in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching, happy grinding, and I'll see you on stream.